it is your Bro-Host Clare, and today I'll be giving you a sneak peek at Doctor Aphra number 15, Party Favors, yet another entry in the War of the Bounty Hunters crossover event. In the previous issue, due to some top-notch creative slicing, Doctor Aphra was able to reprogram the Sentinel droids to assist in breaking Sanastaros, Lucky, Ariel, and herself out of the brig of the Crimson Dawn pleasure yacht, the Vermilion. But they weren't leaving there without a certain necklace programmed with more than enough intel to get Dominatag off their backs for good, and then some. But unfortunately, great minds think alike, and Deathstick, one of the deadliest and spookiest assassins in the galaxy, happy Halloween everyone, knew exactly where they would go, and she was ready to attack with poisonous throwing stars and everything. Deathstick is able to quite literally pin down her target, and things are starting to look pretty bleak for Aphra when her crew of frenemies, namely Sana and Ariel, who clearly have grown fond of each other during their previous scuffles, team up to rescue her from 10 minutes of toxicology turmoil. Deathstick flees the fight. But that's not the last obstacle the crew has to face today. A whole squad of Crimson Dawn grunts shows up to recapture the intruders. But little do they know, they've staged their battle in the one place where an archaeologist like Aphra has the edge, in a gallery of priceless, ancient artifacts. What ridiculous way will Aphra get them out of the mess this time? Find out in Doctor Aphra 15. It's another issue of Doctor Aphra doing what she does best, flying by the seat of her pants, and it's always a super fun ride. However, the outcome of her winging it appears to have some consequences that might come into play later in the series, so I'm really excited to see what happens next for Aphra. Also, since this is War of the Bounty Hunters after all, I really hope we get to see Deathstick come into play, because a stealthy Dathomiri assassin? Yeah, sign me up. So, head on over to your local comic book shop and pick up a copy of Doctor Aphra 15 today, and may the Force be with you.
Master Loden Greatstorm, with a face full of terror, turns to dust in front of Stellan Gios, Indira Stokes, and Bel Zettifar in the High Republic Trail of Shadows issue number 1, written by Daniel José Older and art by David Watcher. We find ourselves at the Jedi Temple on Coruscant in the office of Stellan Gios as he tries to explain what he witnessed on Valo to Jedi investigator Emmerich Kafter. After gathering information from the other Jedi who witnessed the demise of Master Greatstorm, Emmerich is still having trouble trying to come up with a clear picture of exactly what he's dealing with. But Master Gios insists he look into the mystery. Down on level 1347 at the Vaba Blank's Midnight Den, Kefar seems to be dealing with some shady dude while not noticing being tracked by one of the performers at the club. Meanwhile, Stellan Gios appoints a squadron of Republic pilots to assist Emmerich on a recon mission to investigate a Nihil base located by Vernestra Row. This is where things really get interesting for both Emmerich and Kefar, but you would hate me if I spoiled this for you. Daniel José Older has a special talent for a good mystery, and you'll love yourself and this comic after you pick it up at your local comic shop.
Make sure you check out the Star Wars Splash Page podcast for in-depth reviews on all the new Star Wars comics every week.
Hello, and welcome to BROAXIUM's Quick Shot for War of the Bounty Hunters, number 5 of 5. Yes, at long last, this massive crossover event has finally winnowed its way to the final weeks and the final issue of the actual miniseries, and it is chock full of surprises, ties up some storylines, creates even more questions, and sets the stage for December's launch of the 5-issue Crimson Reign miniseries. Jeff, what do we find in this issue?
In this issue, we find out double and triple crosses have happened. We see double and triple crosses happen. We see all of the main characters end up on the Star Destroyer Executor, and we see Vader acting like a bit of a brat, which in turn causes Luke to act like a bit of a brat.
Da brat. No, indeed. You will find, and as you go through each page, that everyone who has been in this miniseries, including the associated tie-ins through Bounty Hunters, Doctor Aphra, Star Wars, Darth Vader, are all back for the finale. And it wouldn't be a Charles Soule written comic without some cliffhangers, because once you get to that final page, you will see that things have been set up for even more storytelling beyond Crimson Reign. Kira is clearly here to stay. And what role Crimson Dawn is going to play in the next series of arcs in the other Star Wars comics, it could be massive. Or it could be very hidden and behind the scenes, much like Crimson Dawn.
Kira is here to stay, and Kira came to play.
And we're going to await the dawn. See what we mean and more when you read the issue. And I believe, fundamentally, that you will find it delivered on every angle. Jeff, what did you think of this overall? I mean, not just the miniseries, but the overall crossover event.
Well, the miniseries itself I thought was very strong. The crossover event ended strongly. I love this ending. We mentioned on our show, which you can find at Star Wars Splash page, anywhere you look for podcasts, we felt like the entire crossover could have been shrunk down a little bit to be a little bit tighter, but overall, I really liked the journey and really liked where it ended up, so you can't really complain too much about that.
No, you can't, and I have to agree with you on that. I thought the execution of the concept was spot on. I think what Marvel did is they built on the effort they put forth with the Vader Down series of issues from a few years ago, but also I think learned from the mistakes of the Screaming Citadel crossover. And what was proffered was a genuinely enjoyable and tightly told story. However, my one quibble, and I may be alone in this, is I do believe that the main miniseries itself could have gone a couple more issues, maybe a 7-issue miniseries, just to have expanded out a little bit of some of the events that we saw within the confines of the miniseries itself. And of course, as we said on our show, at least as I have said, the one thing I did like was that the associated monthly titles, with the exception, of course, being the High Republic, because it's too far in the past to be a part of this, I do like how the creative teams on those respective books were allowed to expand and extend their own storylines within the confines and the frame of the War of the Bounty Hunters.
Agreed. We always want more Star Wars, and more Star Wars is never a bad thing.
It never is.
Thanks for joining us for another quick shot of BROAXIUM.
If you dig our content, please give this video a like and our channel a subscribe.
Make sure you check out our merch at our TeePublic store and consider checking out our new Patreon page and help support BROAXIUM. And may the Force be with you.
Always, always.